What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy AJ, Scoop, whatever you want to call me. Got my boy Rail, and we back with another episode today, man. How you
Yes,
feeling today, my
sir.
guy?
Yes, sir. Feeling great, man. Feeling great, man. Love when we get here, make another video,
Yeah.
man. Can't complain, man. Can't complain today.
Today we got a very interesting topic, though, Rail. Very controversy topic. It's probably been in a lot of media points. It's been a lot of topics lately for just the boxing world in general.
Hmm.
Um, so we had a bout between Lamont Roach versus Gervonta Tank Davis that finished in a controversial draw. Um, a lot has been going on since then. A lot has been going on that night. So let's just dive into it. Let me just get your take as far as like on the fight, how you scored it. Like if you was to be a judge, right?
Yep.
How would you score it? Like, how many rounds did you think Tank won? How many rounds did you think Lamont won? Like, just give me a little take as far as scoring wise. Like,
So without don't mention of course, the big moment in the fight. What happened around
no,
nine?
if you're a judge and you're
Okay.
watching this fight, how do you score it? Like, who do you lean toward? Like, how many rounds? Like, just give me your take. If you was a judge, just give me your whole take.
Yeah, and I remember pretty clearly. Definitely watched the highlights after too, but I remember pretty fairly, what I seen on fight night. I personally had the fight 7-5 Lamont Roach. Very close, very contested fight between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach. And I got to be honest, man, Lamont Roach, I'm not going to say, surprised me, but he damn near surprised me. I thought it would be a good match. When this kind of matchups, when they fought each other a little bit, they're similar with each other, they're from the same biddy. You feel me? When it's those kind of matchups, it's never gonna be that easy. You feel me? And Tank was the -2,000 favorite in that fight. We
Favorite.
gotta
Yo,
remember,
imagine the people that put draw in. Oh my goodness,
oh my goodness,
they
they went up.
probably eating.
They went up. They went up. But nah, for
Them
real,
boys.
like, I had it 7-5, and it was definitely real interesting. Like, I'm not mad at a 6-6 either, but what I will say, I do think Lamont should have won the fight regardless, because obviously we know what happened in round nine. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was 7-5 or 6-6, Lamont Lamont Roach. I said Peterson. Lamont Roach should have walked away with the WA belt.
Okay. Now this is my take on this judging, right? I believe that I believe it should have been a knockdown for the knee. Let's just get that out the way. I believe so. And I actually believe anybody else, they're scoring that a knockdown. I
hundred
fully,
percent. If
fully
that
hardly
wasn't the
believe that.
biggest, hardest puncher in the sport right now, and Gervonta wasn't such a big name,
Superstar, and
that's
he's
a
the A side and
hundred
this and
hundred
that.
percent a knockdown.
Yeah.
100%.
And it's like I look at it like this, right, bro? Fighters get cuts, they're bleeding, it's stuff in their eye, their eye is shut. They don't just sit down and take a knee and not let it not get scored. You know, Floyd broke his
Yeah.
hand in a fight and took a knee, and they counted it as a knockdown. So, what is going on with the commission? Like, I feel like that definitely should have been overturned. Now,
Yeah.
it's also me being a boxing fan. I know how well. Well, let me not say I know how. I judge it. I judge off the way I judge boxing real. I judge off who is accumulating the most damage, because you could just be throwing shots and it's not doing nothing. Like somebody's walking through all the shots and stuff. So I go off. I
Okay.
go off who's accumulating more damage and who's opposing their will more, ring generalship, defense. And I feel like in this matchup, Lamont was just not going. Like I feel like Tank showed too much respect in a sense for
Mm.
him, like way too much respect. And Lamont off rip was like, "What? All if you watch all the interviews, he like, what is you talking about? You not putting nothing out. Like he straight telling him, like, bro,
Yeah.
you not. I'm not on none of that with you. I'm not these people you be in the ring with." And I feel like
Yep.
as the fight started going, Tank started kind of seeing that a little bit, like, yo, he's really definitely not going. Like he's on some dog
Yeah. He's
stuff
not.
with me. And I feel like that is the reason why Tank was losing a couple of them rounds. Because if you would see, they would tie up. Tank just holding him. Lamont, get off me! Like he's like, don't you feel me? Like he's like treating it like it's a fight, and I feel like
Yeah,
Tank wasn't in it. Like he wasn't, and I feel like that has to
yeah,
go with the respect. Like just showing too much respect, and that was just the downfall of a couple rounds. Like it was a couple close rounds that you could have gave the Tank, but just the fact of the clinches and then when they're holding, like you kind of got to score some of them points to Lamont. You know.
yeah, 100%, man. Like I think that a lot of the reason, not a lot of the reason, but a big reason was, Lamont was the more active fighter throughout the fight. As we know, on fight day, I think he threw over 120 more punches than Tank. That right there is gonna. It's not always gonna be a telltale of a fight, but you could just tell who was being a little more aggressive. You could tell that Tank was either shook or surprised, or mentally he was somewhere else around like 8 to 9,
Yeah,
because
for
then that's
sure.
when all the crazy stuff started happening. And I don't want to hear the, like, real quick, the I got something in my eye excuse. Come on, I'm not really going for that. Like, we not hearing that from
Yeah,
nobody else.
nah. Well, well,
We
well,
not literally hearing that
well.
from no
That's what
one
I was about
else.
to ask you too, bro. I was gonna say, what is your take on the Grease whole situation? Like, what do you feel like? What's your
No,
take on
man,
it?
and you can't be
You feel like I got grease
you
in my
get mad at
eye?
your lady, you get mad at your hairstylist. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah.
Don't do your hair that way. That's all I gotta say. Like, I felt that was crazy, and he was dead serious. Like in the interview afterwards, I found the interview after the fight hilarious from Tink.
Bro,
Um,
I
Lamont
was in
Roach
tears,
was
bro.
just
I'm like,
like,
what?
bro,
I was
he
like,
was
what is going
crying.
on, bro? What is going on? You
He
got
was
greasy eye?
crying. Yeah, man, and I think that right there, I wish they would have gave Lamont the fair shake on at least that. If they're gonna give him the tie because they thought, with the knockdown that Tink did enough to get a tie, that's cool. But, like, to not rule out a knockdown, that's gonna go down in history.
That is
You know,
crazy. That's
that's gonna
probably
go
the
down.
first
That's gonna
time
be an
that has ever
infamous.
happened. That's like
That's
probably the
gonna be
first.
infamous, bro. That's gonna be
Yeah.
infamous. We're gonna talk about that. It's gonna be the first boxer says he lost or he took a knee because of the hairstylist. You feel me? Like, I don't know, but
And they try
another.
to go up with the my fault to cut you off, but they tried to go up with the New York Athletic Commission and they
Mhm.
denied it. I was
Yeah,
like,
that
what
was
is
crazy.
going on?
I thought I thought Lamont had it. I ain't gonna lie. I
I
thought he
was
was gonna
like,
get it.
yo, I was like, yo, what is going on? They talk about no.
That was crazy. That's how you know it's A
Corrupt.
fighters versus
It's
B fighters.
corrupt, bro.
It's
Boxing is
corrupt. It's
corrupt,
corrupt.
bro. Boxing is corrupt, bro. Like
100%.
I'm gonna let you get into your point, but I just feel like with that knockdown, Lamont wins that fight. Now, without that knockdown, very competitive fight. A lot of good moments for both fighters. But I'm not without the knockdown. I'm not mad at a draw because it was a super definitely competitive fight. Something I would definitely like to see again as a fan. But I just feel
100%.
like, yeah, I just feel like I didn't really see without the knockdown. I'm speaking in terms without the knockdown. I didn't see crazy points where without the knockdown you could say Lamont won this fight, or I could see the vice versa with Tank. So I'm kind of not mad at the draw, but I am mad at the fact that they did not count that knee because I feel like with that knee that determines the fight right there. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
100%.
Especially in them kind of close moments, and it's like you count the knee and we got a new WBA lightweight champion and featherweight champion. So
Yep.
that would have been big for Lamont. Who knows where his career could have been right now if it wasn't for that corruption. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, real crazy, man. And before we get into our predictions for the fight, which we're gonna give you guys for the upcoming rematch coming up, I wanted to say, like, you know, boxing gotta chill with the corruption. Like, I don't even want to go on a rant, but, like, I really felt like corruption in boxing literally changes lives, changes careers, changes everything. Like, one loss, one draw you give to a guy, and you just let the other guy win and continue his career like nothing happened. Like, I feel
Yeah,
like a lot of that stuff is corny, man, and that's kind of what's holding boxing back,
for
and
sure.
to a certain extent. Now,
Definitely got to change the judging system.
to get into the meat and potatoes, man. who do you have winning the rematch? Now I will go first.
Go ahead.
So in the fight, one of the biggest things I noticed doing my research and watching after the fight, 2 of the 3 judges gave Gervonta Davis 5 of the first 6 rounds of the fight. 2 judges gave him 5 of the first 6 rounds. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
You gotta check the scorecards.
I did not know that. Wow.
Me personally, during those rounds, I think that's kind of what swung it to a tie, because I think we all can agree that Lamont kind of ended the fight better than Tank. But I think the reason I think I had it Lamont 7-5, I don't think Tank was doing enough in the beginning round. And I don't know if Tank can continue, as we see in this fight, to give away or just not, calculate his opponents fast enough, or, just throw enough output early. Like, I don't know if he's going to be able to keep getting away with that. He got to draw this time.
Not with A-level fighters.
Not with A-level fighters. Time. He's not going to be able to get the benefit of the doubt. So I need Tank to come out strong and show, this is Tank. Like, this is Tank. And I would actually love to see the odds for this fight, but I think that knowing that Tank is gonna go all out. Tank knows that, okay, if I lose to this dude and people are already saying I lost to him in the first fight, it's not gonna be a good look for me. So I'm going with Tank by majority decision. I think it's gonna be another close fight, but where Tank just ups his output. If Tank knocks this dude out, that would be a crazy comeback story, and you can't deny Tank's greatness, because I do think Roach is a good fighter, even though he's coming up from featherweight. Tank was a bit bigger guy. I do think Roach is a good fighter, but you're gonna have to show your boxing skills, and you're gonna have to show what's on your heart, because when it get tough, you can't take a knee and run to your corner for a quick break. So I mean, you can't be talking to the ref every other second. Like, I don't know if you remember that. He was talking to the ref a lot.
Throughout the whole fight, though.
Yeah, it was nutty, man. Tank got to come correct this one. I'm going Tank majority decision winner. That's my final answer. But I think Lamont Roach will give a great performance again. I think this will be another close fight.
I'm going with Tank as well. I'm going Tank by knockout this one, though. I just feel like Tank did what, so far as we know of, I think he's doing enough to stay locked in and focused. Like I said, I feel like he showed too much respect at first. We know boxers train, but it's different when you're training with an intent. So I feel like now that he has this on his mind, this draw, all these people write him off, because Tank feel like he's the one. Tank really feels like he's the one. So I feel like with all this media and all these, his peers and all of, talking about him and stuff like that, I feel like he's definitely going to show up. And I also feel like Lamont has been celebrating a draw. I know it's definitely a big, like you were saying, I know we talked off camera. It's big, definitely big for his career. But in draw fights, like, it's cool to be okay. Yeah, I didn't lose or whatever, but you also don't celebrate.
You didn't win either. Yeah.
So I feel like Tank hasn't really said nothing. Like, he just ducked off and just hopped in his bag. Like, after the interview, I was laughing and stuff, but he did give me with one good point that I like what Tank said. He said, I can do more. I'm going to take a couple of days off and I'm back in the gym. That's what I like to hear out of fighters. So for that simple reason, and he's been mixing it up with his training wise. He's working with Mustafa. I don't know if you know who that is. Very respectable. He trains Tevin Farmer. Very respectable trainer. So I feel like he's making the adjustments that he needs. And I also think I read an article, Coach Kyle was back in his corner. So now he's going to be with the same guy he was with. So yeah, I feel like I got to go with Tank by knockout, back with the right, trainer. I feel like that should have been in the corner. Lot to prove, lot going on. I feel like Tank rises to the occasion every time. So I got to go Tank by knockout. I don't know what round, but I just feel like Lamont's gonna. I can mess with him now. Like I done went 12 with him. I can, you know what I'm saying? Like I can sit in the pocket, engage more, and I feel like that's the downfall. Because you cannot go off the first fight. Fighters evolve. So I feel like Tank is evolved, and he's gonna catch him with a shot that he might not see.
Wow. Okay. You heard it here first, man. Scoop, I'm going with KO by Tank.
KO.
I'm going with Tank by majority decision, or even split decision, close unanimous decision. I just think he'll win and I think it'll go all 12 rounds. You know, I think Lamont, like I said, he's tasted Tank power for years at this point. You know, he's nothing new for him. So I think he's ready, and he's a big time fighter. I think this put him in a stratosphere. I can't wait to see Roach against other dudes as well. You know, I know you're not really talking about that, but I can't wait to see Roach against other dudes and see how he matches up.
Or that's gonna be a good
Yeah,
matchup.
it's gonna be a lot of good matchups, man. A lot of good matchups. Great box in the head, but that's it for this episode, man. Thank you for watching another episode, man. Scoop, you got anything to say?
Yeah, like I said in my last couple videos, I have a super surprise coming out, posted on our social media accounts within the next week. So if I hit the description, follow all our social media accounts, and stay tuned for the next video.
Yes, sir, man. Make sure y'all subscribe, like, and comment on this video, share it, and we on all platforms. Make sure y'all follow us on all platforms as well. We out of here, man. Peace.